Hi everyone, if next year you want to buy your property in Luxembourg, if today it was not so easy, next year it will be not so simple. So let's face it, because there will be probably there will be some restriction on the loan to value. Okay, so this means that is the value, also the amount of the loan that you need probably should not be close to the 100% respect to what? To the property value. So it's already hard, but today some solution there was, okay. Probably you pay a bit more the interest rate, but from 1st January 2021 this is not so simple. And in this video I will explain all what there is behind this. I will try to explain as much easier as possible, but let's see the reason why and what can be the impact in our society because of that. First of all, let's analyze some entity in Luxembourg and in Europe. Okay, so last year, if I remember well, it was June around 2019, where there was the ESRB, which is a European System Risk Board, which alerted the European members about one issue, that the price of the property are going to increase, but the salary is not really aligned. Okay, so the decision is to monitor this aspect and to ask to all countries, the member in Europe, to try to avoid the risk, that this risk increase. So in Luxembourg has been done a law it was the 4th December 2019, so just after this communication, to decrease the risk of mortgage for residents. So in Luxembourg we have three entities about this which are involved. We have the Bank Central Luxembourg, the BCL, which coordinate, also is responsible of the activity of the CdRS. CdRS is the Comite du risque statistic. So this CdRS inform the CSSF, which supervise the professional and product of Luxembourg financial sector. So like this we have a picture of the entities which are involved in all this law, all this organization and all this limitation for the loan to value. Okay, so what's happened? The problem is that in Luxembourg, as well in other countries, and we know already Belgium country already made some change in terms of application, in terms of restriction of the loan to value since 1st January 2020, this year, okay? So, but let's see in Luxembourg how it works and why in Luxembourg especially now are taking into account this fact. Also, the property, I take some note here, increase in Luxembourg in the last 5 years as an average. We are not speaking about just average, okay? An average of 7.20, the property increase average in the last 5 years. And in the first quarter of 2020, so this year, the property increase of 13.90%. Then after that we had the COVID, all people is aware, there is a fear also about that, but in the third quarter of the 2020 still increased to 9.40. Is increasing in Luxembourg, okay? There is no way, no COVID can block that, okay? But let's see now in the future what it will be. But those are facts, okay? So now this Comité du risque statistique with the communication. It was done on 9 November 2020, so just a few days ago, to activate, asking to the CSSF to activate the law done on 4 December 2019, which it was based on the communication done by the ESRB, okay? So probably this law will be activated by the 1st January 2021. Now, to understand what it can be the impact, we will try to get into slow and with detail. Now, the scope of this new policy, let's say, is to decrease the risk for sure, okay? Because if it will be hard for people to get 100%, then people will not get a mortgage if doesn't have really a good, strong asset profile. Then in this case, it will be just refused, and there will be not this risk, okay? And another scope, another part of the scope which is inside of this application, this policy, is to slow down the speculation. Now, we have to understand first if the increasing of the price is a speculation or not, first of all, okay? But anyway, it seems that probably, what I expect, to be honest with you, is that probably based on this, if really will be applied, and depend how the fact will show how it will be applied really this policy, probably the price will not increase like as before, but following my opinion, will continue to increase, especially the big property, okay? This is some things that I add in this communication, which is which I'm telling you right now. So the problem is now, if new people want to get a mortgage with the salary that the companies are providing in Luxembourg, comparing to the property cost, it seems to be impossible, right? Because many people today was getting the 100%, but it seems to be hard now, okay? So let's see in detail what I'm showing right now in this graph. So as you can see, this is a design that is split different scenarios, okay? The first one is the kind of mortgage. For instance, you can buy your first property for the first time, right? So you are first a new couple, basically new people, okay, young people basically. And as you can see, there is the loan to value, which is minor or the same of 100%. We remember that sometimes it may be the case that this value increase because you don't buy only 100% the property, but probably you have also to pay the notary inside, right? Which is excluded by this calculation. And so normally it can also, we see in the past also some cases which this should not be the case, but increase, okay? Maybe you had also one car, something else, okay? So this is something particular, but normally actually should be less of the same or equal to 100%. And of course, here is there is no change, 0%. I mean, there will be no flexibility on that, except the asterisk that we see, the stars that we see on this word, which is meaning that the authorization of banks to release, to give this mortgage to the people with the LTV, which loan to value, higher than this limit, are based in the percent of the annual production, okay? So as you can see, is not something so well defined, so there is a bit margin in the flexibility here, okay? Then we have a second category of the mortgage which will be provided, which cannot be higher than 90%, okay? This is probably a second category of people who is not so young like as in the first case, because probably they have another mortgage started in parallel, or they close their mortgage, this is the second mortgage they have, okay? So it's not the first one, and they are living inside, okay? They are living inside of the property that they won't buy. So based on this, there will be also some flexibility which can reach 100% under certain specific scenario, okay, which are really detailed and we will not check now today in this video. The third category is the mortgage that the people can get if, for instance, you want to buy to rent. In this case, cannot increase 80%. Therefore, if you have one property which value is 100,000, never in Luxembourg is the case, so let's say 1 million, you have to give minimal as advance 200,000, and then you will have 800,000 of mortgage, so 80%. But consider also that there will be also the cost of the insurance, probably, if you add, or if the bank forces you to add, otherwise you will get the mortgage refused. Or there will be also the notary cost, the evaluation, other check, other change in the house. Okay, so the mortgage total can be 80% of the value, and here we see the flexibility to 0. As for the first case, there can be higher in the case of which depend by the factors which basically are depending by the banks, okay, the commercial banks. So we start to have a strong restriction in the loan to value. Now all those things are recommendation that surely it can be decided also by the bank, okay, what they can apply. But let's see one thing. The responsibility of the bank here increase, okay? The commercial bank, if normally we have to respect one new policy which allow them to give basically just 80% and they give 85%, then in the case of problem of the customer cannot pay, is going to really a bad debt, and there will be a big issue, then the bank didn't protect the customer. So it will be an issue for the bank. So what I'm thinking here, what can be in this case is that the bank, if you don't give in certain case, in certain scenario, what we see now, the right amount is needed to cover this policy, then probably they will increase what? The spread, because they get much risk. And if they get much risk, how is going? That there will be much risk to the customer to take the mortgage because they have to pay more. So let's see how it works. Okay, let's see how it works. If it will be no spread, the bank can always decide to put the difference between the TAN and TAEG, TAN and TAEG. You know, so about cross expensive, like as a different cost, like as increase the communication without touch the spread, but finally they get the same money, right? It's just about definition where the money are going, but finally the TAEG will decide what you are going to pay, if you are aware that is included or not the insurance inside of this percentage. Another point, it was also based on the risk, of course, is that the CdRS communicate to suggest to CSSF to communicate to the other entity around Luxembourg, like as a Belgium nationality, France and Germany, to please take care about this law, because they want to avoid what? The fact that one customer, one consumer can go in Belgium, can go in Germany and get 100%, which will damage, of course, through this competition, will damage the financial environment in Luxembourg. Okay, so Belgium already take action about that, because we see, I mentioned before, on 1st January 2020 was changed the policy about approval of the mortgage in Belgium. So now Luxembourg is adapting about that, and now let's see France and Germany also what they are going to do. Okay. But surely the case, the suggestion that the CdRS suggests to CSSF, it was to inform the other nations, the other member, to apply the law also, in order that we will not face a competition in this sector, okay? And to finalize all the discussion of today, the law didn't, this is just one suggestion, but CSSF can anyway, at any time, based on the risk, based on the fact how this policy will impact and will evolve in the really marketplace in Luxembourg, it can be that will apply further restriction. So anyway, what is important in all this pitch? What we have to know? We will not get any more the mortgage? No, you need just a plan. And think about this also, that is very important. The fact that the bank protect this risk, okay, 100%. Listen to me. If you get a mortgage 100%, okay, except if your scope is to get the house of your dream, okay, really only for this, and you don't want think other solution, other scenarios, but just you want this house, which is, to be honest, is not so nice as a planning of the life. Okay, I have to be direct with you. The things is to getting a mortgage, to get a mortgage 100% is not the best solution. You are paying only interest. Okay, if you get a mortgage, start to think about one thing, reset one thing. You don't have money to buy that property, okay, but you want to buy, okay. You need to study, you need a plan, you need to investigate everything. If you were not aware about this law which will be applied and you recognize only because of this video, that's not good. That is already a not good point. Why? Because you are not investigating. You're not checking, you're not getting information about will be the market, which strategy I should apply, okay? I need to run, I need to take faster today, this year, I need to get a mortgage, or I can manage during the time, or maybe I will arrive to have 30% and I will get a mortgage of 70%, which is the best things in terms of interest, right? So you need to study, you need to be focused in your scope. But have to be a scope, no, get a house, okay, get a property, okay. You can get everywhere a property if you really want. The problem is the good plan behind. So if you arrive to the mortgage that today you think, tomorrow I want to buy one house, that's not so nice. There is no plan behind it. If there is no plan, you are going to pay. You're going to pay not only money, you are going to limit your life because of money, okay. You will have one income and you don't manage to decrease these expenses, let's say, about the cost of the mortgage, which is the most important, one of the most financial project of your life. At Credit Master, we are thinking about it. We are managing really well the plan for the people. We are really taking care about the risk. We are really taking care about everything around one person because we want the best for them. At Credit Master, we help people every day, and we help people to get this big project done. Done how? In the best way possible. Because the mortgage is one of the most important, probably one of the most important financial project of your life. And you need to really take care about each factors which are involved in your life, okay? Our competence is not only to find the best interest rate for you, it's not only this. We need to study the better project management which include all factors of your life, and therefore to decide the best strategy for you to use to get the best you can get following your scenario. So if you have any question, if you have a project, if you have a dream, do not wait the last minute. Do not wait to the day of the notary act to contact us, okay? Because in that day we can just give you the best rate, but it's not enough for us. We want really support you since the beginning. If it's needed, also training you in terms of knowledge, in terms of information, and then you can decide to go on your way to make the path of the mortgage, this big project by yourself, alone, which is the cheapest way you can reach, okay, you can have. Or based on what we found for you, okay. Probably you will not be able to negotiate, okay, you don't have the skills. Then you come back to us to say, hey, look, I found this interest rate, but this is what we provide, so which is better? And you decide what is better. You need to get the best. You don't need to get just a service. You need to get the best result, which is another thing. Okay, we care about that. So if you have any plan in your mind, you want to reach some scope in the next years, don't hesitate to contact us since now. So you can contact us at info@creditmaster.lu. Like this, we will be able to enter in contact and to start to plan some things with you, to start to understand what is your scenario, and probably already start some corrective action for you to reach the best you deserve.
There could not be a more unlikely pair, but I don't really care. It's okay. We're just making our way through this world. Water and oil, as they say, will not mix, but I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. We're like science and magic in synergy.